Thanks a lot, Kirsten. Well, finances, it's something that we don't necessarily always like to think about, but we have to. It's just a part of our daily life. But how would you rate your finances? Steve Orr, a registered financial advisor with the Orr Financial Group here in Victoria, is joining us now. First of all, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be here, Shauna.
And we were just talking about, everyone was kind of comfortable with their finances, and then with all the economic stuff that's happened, people aren't really sure how to rate their finances, kind of where they stand.
No, and they kind of flunked the test on what they know about it, what really happens. There's three things that people can do to improve their situation. Number one is they need to reassess where they're at. They need to start over. Go back and say, no, what do I know, what don't I know? And because mostly what we're taught, and we live in the richest country in the world and they don't teach us how this works, right, is wrong. So they need to go back and re-educate themselves. Number two is they need to quit spending more than they bring in. You're never going to get ahead if you pay your bills with your credit card. It's not going to happen. And the third one is they need to get objective advice on what they're doing. And objective is kind of a moving target, because a lot of the people in the business today don't really have an objective advice. They sell certain things, and they're not bad people. They just don't do it in a way that's comprehensive. So folks are kind of led to believe certain things work a certain way when they don't.
And so it's really good to have somebody that can help out with the finances and that can really, kind of look at everything and, like you're saying, kind of another set of eyes to
and if you go back to education, here in Victoria, there's a couple. Number one, I did write a book about how comprehensively how the system works and how the government influences it, and it's called The Noisemakers. Folks can get that here in Victoria pretty easy by coming by our office or at Amazon. Number two is there's a class at Victoria College that happens 2 or 3 times a year. I'm the instructor in that class, and it's a comprehensive class that tells folks how to put these things together. So that gives them a start and a basis from which to do research. And then if they're trying to get objective advice, again, they've got to be able to know how to pick an advisor, where to go to get that, and what the difference is between an insurance agent, a broker, a registered investment advisor, and so they don't really know. And so then what they end up doing is they put their money in bonds thinking they're conservative, for an example. And what happens when interest rates rise, the value of bonds falls. So the conservative side of their portfolio actually loses them money. And that's getting ready to happen right now, by the way.
All right, kind of scary to think about. But so really what needs to happen for us to fix all of this, for us to get our finances in order and be where we need to be?
Well, again, we need to go back and start over. So if we can do that, we'll have a chance of going the right direction. People today are going the wrong direction. They think that the only thing that's involved in investing is the stock and the bond market. And that, you can ask yourself, how well did that work? It didn't work. And so they look at this asset allocation thing that they're taught. And, if you have 50% stocks and 50% bonds, you're a conservative investor, and they diversify within those asset classes. That is not working. So, because they're correlated many times. So you have to look at different areas of investing, like non-traded real estate, oil and gas, managed futures, equipment leasing, senior secured notes, and private equity, and tax credits. Those are areas that most people don't have a clue how they work, except on the high-end advisory side, or if you're extremely wealthy. They tell those people how to do it, but they don't. The average person and the person that is actually doing pretty well doesn't really know about those things. So that's a good place to try to improve your education so that you can take advantage of what the big boys and girls do.
All right, so bottom line, open your eyes, look at some other options, and then educate yourself.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you, Steve Orr, for joining us. We appreciate it.
And thank you for having me.
All right.